Fresh. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show. You know how much I love our musical guest, and today we have the incredibly talented, he's got this hair for miles. The one and only Greg Hoy is with us. I love the title of your show that you picked. Ladies and gentlemen, we are floating in space. You're going to tell us a little bit about that. Welcome to the show, Greg. How you doing today? He's frozen, so hopefully he comes back. Maybe. Hi, guys, whoever's on. I appreciate it. Greg, you still there with us? Well, Greg is frozen in a very, very nice way, so I'm going to read a couple of things about Greg while he pops back on. Let's see if I can find this. He is my last show of the day. So Greg is the Greg Hoy Band. Oh, great smile, right, David? Yes. All of a sudden, here we go. This is why technology is so much fun, because poor Greg probably doesn't know he's frozen.
Hello.
Are you back, Greg? Well, there he is. Oh, no. Mr. Greg. All right, so we're going to give him a minute, but I will read you. There he is. Greg, are you back?
I don't know. I hope so. I don't know what's going on. Hello.
It's a connection thing, but it's all right. Technology's awesome. We have a lot of love. Tell them about you while you're still on here.
What about me? I was just coming off a 5-week tour across the United States. We did about 20 shows, my rock and roll band. And it was wonderful. It was unusual. You know, these are weird times to be out and about. And it was just great meeting new people and connecting and playing live music again.
So tell us about your beginnings. Were you always musical? Did you sing in front of your parents as a kid? When did you realize that music was your passion and what you wanted to do?
Yeah. Ted, I was super fortunate. I was raised in a family full of musicians. You know, my brother was a sax player. My sister was a guitarist. My other sister was in the marching band. My mother loved music. She loved, listening to records at home. We would listen to all kinds of stuff. Herb Alpert, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. And then in the 80s, we listened to like Huey Lewis and the News and just tons of music I was surrounded by. So I picked up, clarinet and guitar in 4th and 5th grade and just sort of never looked back.
It's interesting to me a lot of kids, obviously, you have a passion for music, teen angst. I mean, all of that is all part of it. But as you become an adult, a lot of them that gets put to the wayside. They go for a real career in their minds and they give up on that dream. What was the turning point for you where you realized this is what I want to do as an adult as well? I want to do music.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I'm one of the people that believes creativity is in each and every one of us in various shapes or forms. What I found over the years is that music was my outlet, my therapy, the thing that got me the most excited in communicating with other people. I've always been in bands. I've written about music. I was a music journalist after college. So I feel like it's just this compulsion almost. It's not it's conscious the way I do it, but it's also something that I just can't not do.
What's the writing process like for you? I'd love to hear artists and creatives talk about, because everybody has a different process. Everybody pulls from different parts of their lives. It's not all autobiographical, but it's all things that usually move you. What's your process? Do you work alone?
Yeah.
Do you work with a group? Tell us a little bit about your process.
Ted, I think I'm really into people's stories, and myself, I try to be a storyteller when I sit down to write. I'm one of those people that needs a deadline. So sometimes I'll book studio time. There's a studio in Oakland, California, tiny telephone, and I'll book a week there. And it puts a real fire under my behind to write songs. So I tend to sit down with a guitar and I have a little suitcase that has a kick drum in it. And I'll just, kick on the kick drum and play chords and and sort of mumble melodies, and a lot of it is stream of conscious. A lot of it is the melodies come out, I'm fitting words to the melodies, and hopefully there's something in there that's memorable and catchy.
And resonates. And that's what I want to ask you. When you're on stage and you're performing and it's one of your babies, because all of your songs are your babies, all you creatives, it's what you create, whether it's a story or music. How are you feeling? Are you going right to the emotion that you were feeling as you wrote that? Do you ever get emotional on stage? What's your performance like of the songs that you have created?
That's a great question, Ted, because I haven't been able to perform because of the pandemic. It was a very, very different experience this time. And the gratitude was very high, just to be able to be on a stage and have people in a room reacting to the music, the drums, the bass, the guitar, the vocal. I think I have, it depends on the song. I think a lot of songs lend themselves to the moment. Especially the dancey, loud rock and roll stuff. There are a few songs that are personal to me, and I think of the people or the experiences I had when I wrote them, actually while I'm singing them. And I will say the one thing that I paid a lot of attention to this time was being present and being in the moment of performance. And it made a huge difference in my own personal journey on this tour.
So you're back, so you're touring, which you mentioned a few times. Tell us about that, because obviously the pandemic shut all of that down, and all of you as creatives had to find other outlets, had to figure out how to get your music out and get that story out in a way that we had never really handled before. Now that it's back, what's that like? Is it re-energizing you? Is there any fear and trepidation, or are you feeling all of the above?
Yeah, a lot of people were, my family mostly worried that the band and I were going to get very sick on the road. And we didn't. We took all the great precautions. We certainly met a lot of people that, are I'm going to say emotionally and mentally spent. They're over it in one shape or form. They're over a lot of the constant barrage of messaging that's been happening through media and social media. So just being in a room with them, sitting down with them, having a beer after the show, it was very life affirming I want to speak for my band and me. And I also think for the people that came out. I think that, some of the shows were not as well attended as maybe they could have been. And some of those, the people we talked to said, yeah, like, club owners, people are still in some areas they're nervous to go out. They're nervous to be in a crowd and celebrate life. So the people that were there, we had some fantastic shows as well. But even in the small, the celebration of the moment.
I think the celebration is so important. Tell us, we had a couple questions before we went live, and then you're going to sing just a quick little ditty for me. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited. Before we went live, we had some people who said that they are starting in the music business. They decided that it's their passion they want to follow. Do you have any words of wisdom looking back, something that you did that was great, something you did that maybe wasn't so great? Maybe give them some nuggets they can take with them if they want to pursue the same.
Yeah, the first thing I'll say is do it. Sit down with whatever musical element you have and a pen and paper or a laptop or your phone and just write. Just get out the whatever is inside you, get it out and feel what it's like to create a song. I would say the second thing is not to worry too much about feedback and the audience, especially early on. If I could give myself a little bit of if I could pat my old self on the back, I'd say, don't be so hard on yourself to think that it has to be perfect or it has to be some great, amazing thing. It just has to exist. And, I've written over 500 songs in my career, and I listen to some of them now and I laugh or I cry or I cringe. But each one of them was a step. It was a learning moment. And that's what I always tell people that are getting started, just just do the thing. And so much of the great music that you like, it was people just, you know, as Brene Brown says, just stepping into the arena and just letting their voice go.
I love Brene Brown. All right, so you don't have your guitar, but you're still going to give us a little ditty. And so I'm going to take myself off, sing some bars for us, tell us what you're going to sing, maybe the story behind it or whatever. And let's hear some of the talented Greg Hoy.
I totally forgot the guitar in the van, and I'm in a hotel room in Wyoming right now. But you know, we have a song. It's a song I wrote about 10 years ago that actually I just put out as a single and a video. It's called Highway 101. And again, this is kind of contradictory to what I just said, but it just hit over 100,000 plays on Spotify, which is for me, it's a big deal. It's not. I wouldn't say it was a goal. Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't say it's a goal, but it's nice to know your music is connecting to that many people. So I'm just going to briefly tell you, it's a fictitious song. It's one of the first songs I wrote where I tried to tell a story, and I'm just going to sing a cappella the first verse and the chorus.
Fantastic.
So it goes a little something like this. We went driving down Highway 101 outside of Salinas. We had the radio on with the top down and no space between us. But I had to act my age, though you were quite the sage. And those back roads would never be the same again. Now we stopped for snow cones from a roadside senorita. That treat was sweet, but man, your smile was so much sweeter. So I took a cue from you. You told me what to do. And those back roads would never be the same again. All right, now here's the chorus. Everybody's got their own religion, and everyone's a priest in their own church, a judge and jury of their own decision. Recognize alone just what it's worth. And that is the first verse and chorus to Highway 101, which
I love it. I'm glad you told us it was fictitious. But you know what? It's so hard. First of all, that was great. I loved it. I can't wait to hear it. Tell us again the name of it.
It's called Highway 101, and it's literally, I wrote it about a highway in California where when I was 14, I had when you're 14, everything's new and exciting and fun, and I had an experience in a convertible, and it became this song, 20 years later.
It takes a lot to sing a cappella. I think people don't realize. And you can tell a lot by musical talent when somebody sings a cappella, when there's not all sorts of bells and whistles behind them, auto-tune, all that good stuff. I loved it. I want people to go out and get Highway 101, which is on Spotify and all of your music platforms. But what's the best way, Greg, for them to find you, support you, follow you, download your music? And by the way, you want to download and buy their music. Creatives need us to support them. So tell us the best way.
Well, I'm a huge fan of, it's called Bandcamp, BANDCAMP, and it is a streaming platform. However, you can spend money on things like hats, and we actually do vinyl records. I don't know if people remember those.
I do.
But you can actually buy, I had a feeling maybe we were in the same ballpark there. And I will tell you, on the tour, we sold out of records, which was shocking to me. I brought 50 and they went, and people are still buying the physical, artifact of artists. And I think that's great.
It's beautiful. All right. You can also go to thegreghoy.com, I believe, anywhere on social media, go to Bandcamp. Greg, thank you for being patient and flexible. I loved it. Come back anytime. Bring your guitar next time. I would love that very much. Thank you so much. Y'all get behind these creatives like Greg. It's so important we support them, listen to their music. These are their babies, their stories that they want to share with you. And so let's show them some support. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.